directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
On view at Minneapolis Institute of Art, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work, only at MIA until September 21st, and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACDI. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting NACDI.org.
The world's preeminent undead funk ambassadors are rising from the tomb. Here comes the Mummies, an 8-piece funk rock band of 5,000-year-old Egyptian mummies with only one thing on their mind, bringing you terrifying funk from beyond the grave. It's funky, it's freaky, and it's absolutely unforgettable. Catch them September 21st at the historic Pantages Theater in downtown Minneapolis. Shake it, quake it, and get your tickets now at hennepinarts.org before the mummies vanish. Again, that's hennepinarts.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 57, then Thursday sunshine with a high of 77. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Karagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. This episode is by Minneapolis AIR, American Indian Relations on Native Roots Radio, and it's supported by the city of Minneapolis. Minneapolis is the home of one of the largest urban Native populations in the country. We're thankful to have these updates from Minneapolis American Indian Community Specialist. Here's our guest host, Christine McDonald. Welcome to Native Roots Radio. Take it away.
Thank you, Robert. Bonjour, Ogadaki Gabawik Nindijnikas, Ajijakmin Dundem. I am Christine McDonald. I'm the American Indian Community Specialist with the City of Minneapolis. And tonight we have the Minneapolis Elections Department. This is an election year for the City of Minneapolis. And joining us to talk about that is Zach Becka from Minneapolis Elections and Voter Services. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for having me. I'm very, very honored and thankful to be here for the opportunity to speak with everybody today.
Thank you. Can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and then what you do at the Election and Voter Services Department?
Sure. Yeah. So me and my role here at the City of Minneapolis, I am an election judge coordinator. So essentially what that means is I'm in charge of staffing the polling places on election day. All of the staff are assigned from members of my team and myself. We staff, the team judges, so from everybody from handing out the ballots, checking you in, greeting you at the door, the head and assistant judges, people in charge of the poll book and registration specialists as well. We handle all of those day-to-day assignments and like building up that until election day. A little bit about myself. I've been working with the city since 2020 seasonally as an election specialist. And Christine asked me to talk about why I'm passionate about this work. And I'm passionate about my election work truly just because I have a love for democracy. That started off as a very young kind of love for me and an interest for me in our future, our history, things like that. I get a great sense of happiness from giving service to the community that has meant a lot to me and helped influence me in the way that I am today. So it makes me feel good to give back to my community. And yeah, it just makes me overall happy. So that's just a little bit about what I do here. As far as the as far as the election judge program, one thing that I wanted to touch on that I didn't touch on, I apologize for, is we also employ student election judges as well. So anybody between the ages 16 to 18 can be a student election judge. They get the same responsibilities as a regular election judge. You get paid for the training, you get paid for election day. So I wanted to advertise that it's, you still might not be able to vote until you get to be 18, but you get to interact with the voting system and get to see how it works at an earlier opportunity than they normally would. So I think that is interesting, and I just wanted to point that out as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You still get to be a part of the process and witness it firsthand.
Exactly.
So can you tell us about what is on the ballot this year?
Surely. So this is going to be a municipal election year. So that means it's just city offices on the ballot. And depending on where you live in the city will impact the different, like the seat or the ward or the position that you can vote for. So let's break it down. So everybody will have the mayor. Everybody knows about that. Everybody will have a city council member that they can choose for. And again, that depends on where you live. Board of Estimate and Taxation, they have 2 at-large seats. Parks and Recreation Commissioner, so there's 6 districts, so you will get to vote for one of those, depending on where you live. And then there's 3 at-large seats. And then all of the races are in ranked choice voting, which is unique. I shouldn't say unique to Minneapolis, but it is not what we're normally used to and when we vote in a federal or state election. So it will be a little bit different, which we'll touch on.
Thank you. Election day is still a while away. Well, it's not that far away. Is there anything Minneapolis voters should be doing right now?
Yeah, I would say always have a plan. Always have a voting plan is always the best way to have the best experience. Figure out how do I want or how would I like to cast my ballot. We have a couple different options. It's if you want to vote early, we can have you vote by mail. You can vote in person at the early voting center here at 980 East Hennepin Avenue. And we also are going to have additional pop-up sites located around the city. We had that during the 2024 general election, and we are returning to some of the sites, and we're having a new site in there as well. Let me just touch on that real quick. I have that. So we'll be at the Weissman on the October 21st. And that's from 10 to 5 p.m. We'll be at the Minneapolis Public Service Building on October 22nd, 11 to 6. Urban League Twin Cities on Thursday, October 23rd, 11 to 6. Friday, October 24th, Midtown Global Market. So returning there, 11 to 6. And then Weber Community Center on Monday, October 27th, and then it will be 11 to 6 as well.
So at these pop-up centers, do you have to live in that district to vote at those pop-up centers?
That is a good question. So you do not have to live in those areas to vote at those centers. Our pop-up sites are equipped with equipment that is able to print ballots depending on where you live in the city. So we're able to bring the ballots directly to people.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So state laws around elections have changed in our recent years. Can you tell us what's new with those state laws?
Yeah. So this year we want to highlight that there's a change in the ballot drop-off time. So if you're dropping off your ballot on election day, you would need to drop it off in our offices by 5 p.m. We're not accepting ballots at polling places on election day. It needs to be dropped off at our offices. We had a couple instances in 2024 where they were brought to polling places. We want to make sure that that is only being brought to our offices here. We also have in 2023, the state legislature passed a law restoring voting rights for felons. As long as they are not incarcerated, they are able to vote. So this restored the voting rights of, I believe it was I don't want to be quoted on it, but I believe it was in the 50,000s. It restored a lot of voting rights to previously people who had felons on their record. We also have had a change that introduced a permanent absentee list. So let me give a little further context on this. So in 2023, we had a state change as well that when you go to register to vote, you can elect or request to be added to a permanent absentee list. So if any election is available in your area or where you reside, you will automatically receive a ballot in the mail for that election. You don't have to go. You don't have to go request it. You don't have to do anything additional. It's just if you are eligible to vote in an election, you will receive a ballot.
Okay. Can I just follow up on the felon part?
Yeah.
So just to clarify, I know back when I was really assisting doing elections, we would have to specify that they had to be off paper. So you're saying that they no longer have to be off paper to vote?
Yeah, so this includes non-incarcerated felons who are on probation, as well as those part of the work release programs or that are on paper. So yeah, it's truly, if you're not incarcerated, you are able to vote.
Nothing stopping you from voting?
Nope.
That's great.
Hey, we'll be right back. You're listening to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio. Stay with us.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
On view at Minneapolis Institute of Art, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work, only at MIA until September 21st, and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org.
Have you read or listened to any good mysteries lately? Would you like to know more about the people who write them? Listen to Masters of Mystery on AM 950 Saturday, September 13th at 9 p.m. as host Rob Young converses with John Gaspard, writer of magic-filled mysteries, and professional actor turned audiobook narrator Jim Cunningham as they discuss Gaspard's novels and their journey from written word to audiobook.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACDI. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting NACDI.org.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Hey, we are grateful for this partnership to keep up to date on topics that can better support our largest urban Indian population in the country. I'll pass things over to our great guest host, Christine McDonald.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Christine McDonald, American Indian Community Specialist with the City of Minneapolis. And joining us tonight for our conversation is Zach Becka, who is with the Minneapolis Elections and Voter Services Department. So Zach, I remember before we had ranked choice voting. It's fairly new, and so Minneapolis uses ranked choice voting in their municipal elections. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so it is a voting method where you vote for candidates in order of your preference. So it allows you to rank them or choose them. You get to choose up to 3, and you don't even have to choose more than one if you do not like or don't want to. So you can choose, your top 3, and then go from there.
So how do voters make their choices using ranked choice voting?
Yeah, so we will have sample ballots available on the Secretary of State website by the time early voting starts. They're not available right now. I just went to check it. You can see the candidates and they're listed, but you're not actually able to view it as if you were there on election day. But I want to mention that it will be there on by the time early voting starts.
And again, that's next week or?
Yes, so the early voting starts on the next Friday, 19th.
19th. Okay.
Yeah, so you can vote as early as then in person here at 980 East Hennepin. But going back to what we were talking about, there's columns that will separate which choice you are making for which race. So let's say, for example, if I want this particular candidate, let's say Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe is my top choice, so there will be for mayor. There will be a column that says, top choice or first choice, and then you will fill in that bubble, and then there'll be another column that will say second choice for mayor, and then you can fill that in there, and then that goes that way. So that's how we can fill out the ballot.
Cool. And they don't have to use ranked choice voting. They can make one choice. Does it make any sense for somebody to put like the same candidate 1, 2, and 3?
No, it does not make any sense. Your vote would not go past that first round. And once your candidate is eliminated, then your vote would go to your second choice or your third choice if they're still available.
Okay, thank you. If I need to register to vote, what are my options? How do I do that?
Yeah, so registering is actually fairly simple in Minnesota, in my opinion. If you're registering on election day at the early voting center or to pop up, so if you're registering in person, you just need to present proof of residence. So that could be Minnesota State ID, up to date with your address, current address. It's not expired. Let me see here if I have the list. I'm blanking right now.
It's okay.
But yeah, we have there is a total list of everything that you can use on the Secretary of State website. Also, another great web resource for us or for voters looking to get information would be mnvotes.gov. That will take you directly to the Secretary of State, as well as vote.minneapolismn.gov. On there has all the resources that they would need to find what they need to register to vote. It is a little specific in the sense that what the language is on there is what we're looking for. There's not a whole lot of gaps that we can fill in. It has to be one of those specific things.
Right. Okay. What if I miss the deadline?
If you miss the deadline to pre-register, that's okay. We have same-day registration in Minnesota. You can do that at election day. We can do that at early voting or at a pop-up.
Great, thank you. So what do I need to do if I do want to vote by mail?
Sure. Yeah. So if you're applying to by mail and you're not yet registered, you will receive a voter registration application in your package that you'll get from our office. So you would just fill that out and send that back in.
And what's the difference when I vote by mail or if I go in person?
That's a good question. So before we start tabulation or when we're in a true early voting period, you're doing the vote by mail system in person. You'll put it in an envelope that goes in another envelope. You need a witness. It doesn't go directly in the tabulator. So that does not happen right away. The last 2 weeks before the election, that's when we can start direct balloting. So that's when there is a major shift between voting in person as opposed to voting by mail. Also, additionally, you have the satisfaction of handing your ballot in and knowing that everything is taken care of ahead of time, and just having that peace of mind, that knowing that come election day, I'm good to go.
Yeah. So what is this witness section? I didn't know about that part. What do you have to do to be a witness to a mail-in?
There is on the actual form on the envelope, there are specific kind of eligibility requirements. I don't know offhand. I can't speak to that offhand. Yeah, I wouldn't even want to adjust it.
Okay, I didn't know about that part, so that's a good thing to look into. And who can be a witness for you?
Yeah, I would say just in general, if there are any other further questions that either I can't answer on this forum, on this radio, if there's anybody listening, they can call 311. We'll be happy to help you out that way.
Great. If I apply to vote by mail, or I still have my mail-in ballot with me at home, can I change my mind and just vote in person instead, or do I have to follow through and sending it in?
Yeah, so we are recommending that you leave your ballot at home. If you receive your ballot in the mail, leave it at home. If you're choosing to vote in person or even on election day, just don't fill it out, don't send it back, don't do anything. Just go vote in person, and to handle that business, when the election worker will see that we've sent you a ballot, we'll talk you through it.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we have records of that. We'll be able to cancel that ballot, so that way when you go home, our instructions are just to shred it, rip it up, make sure that it's just trash at that point.
So that's one way to make sure that there's no double voting happening.
Exactly.
That's
good.
good.
One vote per person.
And so if I am all of a sudden I find myself I got to be out of town on election day, how do I vote early in person?
Yeah, so we have on our website, Minneapolis or vote.minneapolismn.gov has all of our early voting schedule. It is a little funky. There are a couple of days that we have the 13th off for Indigenous Peoples Day. We have a different schedule for the last 2 weeks. So we work, so from October 27th through the 31st, we're from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The day before the election, we're open till 5 p.m. So I would just recommend, if there's anybody looking to find the schedule for what our hours are for voting in person at 980 East Hennepin, just to go to our website and then consult it there. Or, call 311 and we'd be happy to help you that way.
And what's that website?
Vote.minneapolismn.gov.
And that will also have information for the pop-up centers, right?
Yes. So it's a little tricky to navigate, but if you're on the homepage of vote.minneapolismn.gov, on the voters tab, there is a vote early in person tab. Inside of that has the schedule for when we will have our early voting hours for our center.
Okay.
And on that website as well, on that same page, is the pop-up schedule, locations, address, the hours. It has a lot of information available there.
Okay, can you say again more about the voting pop-up option?
Yeah, so it's got all the same safeguards in place that we would normally have at a regular polling place. So we are able to service any of the Minneapolis residents at any of these pop-up sites. Like I said, we have the equipment that we are able to bring your ballot to you, even though you might not even be in your neighborhood. So it's just one day only that we will have these pop-ups at these sites. So if you're looking to, if you're in that area or transportation is an issue to 980 East Hennepin, but you're wanting to vote early, look into that website and check into seeing if there are any locations that might work for you that you can make.
One quick question, I hope, and before we have to end, when can we expect to know the results of the election?
Yeah, so voters should visit vote.minneapolismn.gov, like the website that I've been referencing, on election night, so that we can get the results. Candidates who receive more than 50% of all the votes will be declared unofficial winners on election night. All the other ranked choice voting races will be tabulated by election staff beginning on Wednesday, November 5th. Results and unofficial winners from the ranked choice voting tabulation will be announced through the day until all races are complete. So our website.
Perfect. Great information. I'm so happy to have had you on with me this evening. And best wishes. This is going to be a large task for you and your colleagues. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Christine.
Hey, we'll be right back. You're listening to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts.
So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. It's the start of our favorite season in Minnesota, football season. With all the hype and action this season brings, we know things can get loud and messy quick. Before you invite your friends and family over to watch the big game, you better call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to clean up all of those fumble moments in your home. And as always, you can score a guaranteed touchdown with great savings from Zero Res this month. Carpet, tile, rugs, upholstery, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. And this month you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129, plus $75 off an air duct cleaning. And don't forget about your dryer vent, too. Having Zero Res over will be a big victory for your home. You'll always come away a winner, even if the guys in the purple or the maroon don't. Call 952-ZERO-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, I'm Scott Shambot from Shambot Family Dentistry. We're the fear-free, shame-free dental office. We know dental anxiety and dental phobia are real. We'll take the time to get to know you and give you what you need to be comfortable at all times. We offer free nitrous oxide laughing gas and have high-tech options to help you feel calm and relaxed during your appointments. We'll help you get through every appointment in the most pain-free way possible. If you're having a dental emergency, we'll try and get you in the same day you call because we don't like to see anyone in pain. As my daughter Rachel says,
if you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been going to Shambot Family Dentistry for years. They get me in last minute when I'm in pain and make regular checkups easy and comfortable.
Shambot Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at ShambotFamilyDentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP, or visit snapconstruction.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 57, then Thursday sunshine with a high of 77. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, this episode is supported by the city of Minneapolis with Minneapolis AIR, American Indian Relations. And here's our guest host, Christine McDonald.
Welcome back. I am Christine McDonald, American Indian Community Specialist with the city of Minneapolis. And joining us now is Jolene Jones, representing Make Voting a Tradition, a culturally specific, year-round, multi-generational approach to increase voter turnout and civic engagement in the Native American communities in Minnesota. Welcome, Jolene.
Thank you for having me, Christine. I appreciate the invite.
I'm so excited to have you on. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe what drives you to do this work?
So, Buju Mishko Banishi and Dishmi Kuz Mungdu Dame. My English name is Jolene Jones. I always try to introduce myself in our cultural name because that's our true name. The reason why I think I got started in voting was my mother, when we would turn 18, would take us to vote that year, if it was a voting year. And I was very excited about going. And it was like a tradition with her. My older siblings did it. And then I've done it with my son. I've done it with my grandchildren. So that's why voting became so important to me, because it was something that my mother considered was our duty. And we needed to do it for our people. I think for me, it became more important as I seen our community didn't want to vote due to our history and traumas with government. Mm-hmm. And not feeling like their voices are heard. And this is a way for their voices to be heard. And I want them to know that. So we do a lot of one-to-one work, Make Voting a Tradition does, to get our people out to vote. We do candidate forms. We just did a mayor's candidate form. It was the first all-indigenous one, where it was the programs that sponsored it was Make Voting a Tradition, American Indian OIC, NACDI, the Native American Community Development, who actually created MVAT, and also did I say Indian Health Board? I don't know if I did, but Indian Health Board was a part of that also. One of the main questions that I really enjoyed, Christine, one of the questions that was asked of all mayoral candidates was, do you believe in land back? And they all said yes, and we have that recorded. So we have that on file. You know, we do surveys of our community to ask what we're missing. In 2016, in 2015, after elections, we did a survey of our community. And one of the things that came up was that if voting is so important, why ain't you guys here year round? Why do you only come for voting? Why don't you educate us throughout the year? Get our 18-year-olds when they're turning 18, all of that. That was before 16 and 17-year-olds can register. They can register now. So NACDI took that to heart. It was a community voice that was heard, and NACDI made Make Voting a Tradition a year-round program. So that was very awesome. You know, we provide voter education, resources. We answer the hard questions. Right now, like you talked about earlier with Zach, we're in ranked choice voting this year. So we are doing, we have fun with ranked choice voting because we're make voting a tradition. So we do like Big Bird, Elmo, our kids get to vote. Our adults vote for other things. They get to practice voting. So when they walk in, they ain't shocked by what they're voting for, and they get to say, why is it like this? So, you know, we try to get a little bit ahead of the game for our community.
I know you guys have done some excellent work in the community. And I heard you guys are an award-winning program. Can you tell us what that award was and who presented it, how you got it?
We got awarded the Secretary of State's award for make voting a tradition, and this is really a big award because it's just not our Secretary Simon. It's just not him. It was all the secretaries of state, and they all nominate a program and then they select. And
it was a national
Make
award.
Voting a Tradition won a national award, and it was pretty awesome, you guys. We got it last year when we were doing Indigenous Peoples Day in November. We got it, or October, I mean.
Yeah, and that was presented by Secretary of the State, right?
Secretaries of the State. I call him. His name's Simon.
Simon.
Yeah.
I just know that guy.
Yeah. He's a pretty cool guy.
So can you tell us more about who is MVAT and how you all are involved with voter engagement and education for Natives, for our community?
So Make Voting a Tradition is we tend to use community with community. So instead of just having random people, a lot of our people are from our community. They live in our community. They know the obstacles that our community faces to vote. Like I heard you earlier say, what if I got to go out of town for something? How do I vote early? That happens to our people a lot. You know, for our elders, we always worry about snowstorms. So we have them fill out early voting. And as we get closer, if they don't want to do it, they don't have to. But if it's going to be a snowstorm, they actually get to vote that way. Otherwise, we walk them over and assist them in walking if it's snowy out. So a lot of our canvassers fellows, when I say canvassers fellows, I mean our people who get out there and register people at events and that live in our community. A lot of them live in Little Earth. We also have young ones who help us. They love doing it. They can't wait to vote. You know, we have our new Instagram up. So you can go there. We're brand new, you guys. If you go to Instagram, it's Make Voting a Tradition. Please go like us. We're brand new on Instagram. We're moving up in the world here. But we do have a Facebook, and it's Make Voting a Tradition. Or you can also go to Native American Community Development, and Make Voting a Tradition is on there also. And we have like how you vote, where we're going to be tabling that week, because in the Native community, we have events that we go to reach out to our community so we can register our voters, our people who moved. We can engage our youth, our 16 and 17-year-olds. We can recruit people to become canvassers and fellows. We provide education like the 16 and 17-year-olds. A lot of them didn't know that they could register to vote. Even though there are school things going on, our Native ones still did not know. So we do a lot of registration with them. We also do a lot of registration with our felons right now because they can legally vote as long as they're not sitting in prison, and unless the judge has told them they cannot vote. So we've done a lot with that. We do a lot of artwork. We engage artists in our community because what we have found, like I talked about surveys earlier, what we have found in our most recent survey we did is that our artwork speaks to our community.
Yes.
The artwork. So we have a lot of posters, a lot of stickers. So when people come to our table, they can take them. Everything's free. We give them away so that, you know, anybody can have them. They don't even have to be old enough to vote or anything. Anybody can have them. We really got some awesome stickers. We got pet scarves because we know that your pets are part of your family too. And you know what? Your vote matters to them too. Everything we do is for our community, not to just vote, but for their voices to be heard in the areas they're concerned with. You know, our MMIW, policies matter. So your vote matters for policies.
It really does. I think one of the things that has made this program so successful is the work that you've done to recruit community members. I remember different conversations that we'd been in, and we talked about how important it was for our community members to learn about voting from people from our community, people that look like us, talk like us, have the same experience as us.
Yes,
Mhm.
that deeply matters. When we had 4 years ago, we had, we got some of our elders who've never voted. I had an elder who was 87 years old and he had never voted. And, we all tried to talk to him and he was like, yeah, I don't think I want to vote, and sometimes it takes more than one talking. We got talked 5-6 times. And finally, one of my canvassers was like, you ain't never voted. You're 82. You should do it, just because at the time he was born, our people couldn't vote. We were not allowed to vote. And he thought about it and he told her, you know what, if you walk me over there, I will vote. And we took his picture and he voted.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Old. That was beautiful.
That
Because
is
when he was
beautiful.
born, our people weren't allowed to vote. And, we stress that too, voting matters. And some of our elders, because also, when MVAP first started, we were just in the urban area, because a lot of our people live in the urban area now due to the Relocation Act and all the false promises. So we live in the urban area and our voting is really off. We're like, what do you mean we vote here? Or do we vote up by the res? Because, to us, that's our home, is our reservation. And it's like, no, we're going to vote right here where you live right now. We're a very mobile people also, Christine. That's why it's so important to keep registering our native voters, because we are a very mobile people and we've always been mobile. So one day they'll be living in Minneapolis. The following year, they're living in St. Paul. Next, they're living in Leech Lake. We're a very mobile people.
I think the other thing that you mentioned were some of the different swag that you've had. And you use artwork and you collaborate with different organizations, but it would be really cool if one year, you could fill up all my relations gallery with all the different pieces of swag, the different posters that you've created. The fact that you've partnered with different community artists to create voting posters, those are so cool.
So our this year's voting posters, we have Frank Buffalo Hyde, we have Afton Delgado, Bree Green, Jonathan Thunder. We've had Steve Primo in the past. We've had all kinds, and our posters are beautiful. We really should, Christine, at one point put all of our voting posters in the gallery. That would be beautiful.
And all the Make Voting a Tradition shirts.
Oh yeah, we got different kinds of shirts.
Yeah.
We redid our logo a couple years ago. Our logo is the bomb. We really have a beautiful.
Who's the current artist that designed? Who's the artist that designed the current logo?
His name is Frank.
The current logo?
Oh, our current logo? I'm not 100% sure.
It was Bill. I thought it was Bill Green.
Bill Green. Thank you, Christine.
Brian Green. Yeah.
No, it's Bill. His name's Bill.
Yeah.
Bill Breen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm like, who was it? It caught me off guard.
Hey, we'll be right back. You're listening to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio. Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACDI. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting NACDI.org.
On view at Minneapolis Institute of Art, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work, only at MIA until September 21st, and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, this episode is supported by the City of Minneapolis with Minneapolis AIR, American Indian Relations, and here's our guest host, Christine McDonald.
Thank you, Robert. Welcome back. I'm Christine McDonald, American Indian Community Specialist with the City of Minneapolis. And joining us is Jolene Jones with Make Voting a Tradition with the Native American and Community Development Institute. So let's talk about identification requirements for voting. What are the requirements, and will a band or tribal ID work if I want to when I go vote?
Yes, tribal ID works in the state of Minnesota for voting, but one of the things is Minnesota's a no-show ID. So if we have registered you to vote, you do not need your ID. You do not need anything to vote except know your name and your address, and they will pull you up. But tribal IDs work, student IDs work from colleges. And if you don't have that, you can bring your ID and I have something with your address on it so we can verify where you live, and also having somebody vouch for you. So like, let's say you were out of town, you never got to any of the MVAT stuff, or you just moved and you weren't planning on moving, and now you got to register to vote, and it's already voting time, you didn't get it in. So we would have people at the voting places where you could talk to them, or some like your neighbor, somebody who knows you, a relative, say you moved with a relative, they can vouch for you. But tribal IDs work, and if you're registered, you don't have to bring anything to vote.
So I think one thing I remember is I showed up one year. I was supposed to be registered, and I showed up one year and I wasn't registered. So luckily I got there early enough, and I had to go home and get some documents. But where can I check to make sure that I'm registered?
So you can go to Make Voting a Tradition. We have a link to the Secretary of State page, and you can check and make sure you're registered to vote. And we do that for people too. So like when we're tabling, or even on election day when people come up, because we will be holding a little party, we will have swag and that out and telling people where they're supposed to vote. So if they come to us and say, I don't know where I vote, we'll look it up for you. You can ask us at any of our tabling events. You can go to our page and look it up. And that's Make Voting a Tradition, our Native American Community Developments page. And you can find it out right there.
Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I'm registered to vote before I go to my polling place.
Yes.
So if I'm not registered, then I need to bring one of those IDs that we mentioned.
Yes.
But you mentioned a party.
So we have started Make Voting a Tradition down at NACDI's main office at 1414 East Franklin. We have started to have an election day party. So we do a little party so we can let people know where they go vote. They can pick up swags. They can take pictures. It's all fun for their voting day, to make voting day fun, because it should be fun.
Where is that party?
At 1414 East Franklin at Native American Community Development Institute.
Okay.
Parking lot.
Fun times. I'm excited.
It's going to be awesome. And also, don't forget your tribal ID. And for our homeless people, Christine, I want to stress this. So we do register our homeless people because they do not need to have an address. So let's say they're staying underneath a bridge, we would register like Cedar Avenue and 22nd as their address. And when we go in and check to where they vote, it will come up where they're supposed to vote at.
Okay.
Because our homeless people's voices matter too.
Yes.
So the state of Minnesota makes sure that they can vote too. And we do register our homeless. We do a special day, just like we will probably be recommending to our homeless that they vote early at Midtown on the 24th, and MVAT will be there to engage them and help them through that. Last year when they did it, they did have a place at Little Earth, so it was a little easier for us to engage our homeless. We just went to the camps and brought them over for them to vote, or told them, gave them flyers about the event. So we want to make sure everybody votes.
Yeah, your vote counts.
Yes, it does.
So some people might need assistance in voting. What are some options if, like, my grandma needs help at the polls?
So if your grandma needs help, you can help her. You can go in and help her. Even for everybody, they have Braille, they have big print for people who can't see that good. And for people who are shaky, of course, you can help them fill in.
Oh, yeah.
So Minnesota is very good at helping our voters vote. They are very engaged in it, and MVAT's commitment is to make sure that all our Native voters get to vote. Like when I was talking about our elder who was 82 who voted, the person went in with him and helped and read it to him because he was not a good reader. So so that happens too, where we have people who can't read that well, and we read to them and we tell them things. We also do that on our page. We also will post and talk about these are your candidates. So we also partner with the League of Women Voters, and they currently have a voter guide out right now. So they have all the candidates in it who's running for mayor, what the mayor office does, city council candidates, what the city council office does. So, we do readings with people. We'll sit down and read the book out loud to people. We do that at Little Earth Elder Group. We do that in craft class. We just do them. We don't ask people if they can read or not. We just read their candidates and what the mayor's office does, and that's what we do. That's our job, to make sure our people feel comfortable. That's why we also, like I said, practice voting, because we want our people to feel comfortable. And the reason why we give out shirts, and this year our shirts are light blue, is because we want them when they walk in to vote, if they see another light blue shirt, to feel like, oh, I know them. They're Native. They got a light blue shirt.
Yeah. So do you have any final advice for people as we head toward Election Day?
My final advice is to check your registration if you've moved in the last year. If you've had anything going on in the last year, it doesn't take but about a minute and a half to check your registration. If you don't feel comfortable checking it yourself, you can go to the Make Voting a Tradition page, and you can see where we're tabling at. Our biggest event coming up is going to be on Indigenous Peoples Day on October 13th at American Indian OIC. We'll be giving shirts away there. We'll be doing last minute voter registration because we're getting close to Election Day. We'll also be checking to make sure you're registered, and we will have all kinds of swag, and you will get to see our artwork in sticker form. We will have some of that artwork in posters, and we will have some yard signs with the artwork on it.
Oh, okay.
So,
yard signs.
Yes, we are ready to go. But they're going to be big enough to put in your window too if you live in an apartment.
Oh.
So they're going to be a little smaller. Last year we got the bigger ones. This year we're going to get the medium ones so that people can put them in their windows if they live in an apartment.
Medium? What do you consider a medium size? And I'm asking because where I live, you can't put anything political up.
Maybe 12 by 16.
Okay. I'd love to rock something on my car though.
Oh, yeah, we got stickers for your car, but we have not put any of our artwork in bumper stickers. Thank you, Christine. That's a wonderful idea. I am going to bring that up to our communications team.
Wow, I hope I get one. Oh,
Thank you so much, Jolene. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having me. Gigawabaman.
See you later. See you tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow too. Great job, Christine, as always. This has been a very interesting show. As always, this episode is supported by the City of Minneapolis, Minneapolis AIR, and a big peeny gigi to our guest host, Christine McDonald.
Good night. Thank you.